Howdy, guys, and welcome to night 7 of Big Brother 23, and welcome to Cliff Notes from outside the Big Brother house. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. Now, it's been such a hectic week. Every night, so much going on. Last night, a little bit different between Kylan's birthday and Travis's minimal campaigning so far. A lot less hectic of an evening, a little bit more laid back. Doesn't mean there weren't some important conversations still going on, which we'll talk about, but house guests were having a little bit of fun as well, and that's nice to see. So before we start talking about the strategy talk, let's talk a little bit about yet another alliance that is formed, the French Kisses. This formed, I think, at some point yesterday afternoon. It consists of Azah, Hannah, Tiffany, Claire, and put together by Frenchie. He brought them all up to the HOH room, called them all upstairs to organize it. However, it appears that the only person who thinks this alliance is real is Frenchie. The rest of them are kind of laughing about it. The women are laughing about it, saying, yeah. I heard conversations saying, look, if Frenchie brought us all together, he's only doing it so he can keep an eye on us. The other thing that was said was, if Frenchie brought all of us together, don't you think there's a guys alliance? He's been hanging with the guys all week long. There's no way he hadn't aligned with the guys as well, which is right. Look at the Butchers Alliance, the subgroup of the Slaughterhouse. So the ladies got it figured out. They understand that this new French Kiss alliance really isn't worth the paper it's written on or not written on, but they are not taking it seriously. Frenchie is yet another alliance that Frenchie is in. So we do have the French Kisses. French Kiss is a brand new alliance. Now, as I said, it's a little more relaxed yesterday evening. We had a Toga party, a birthday celebration for Kylan. Happy 30th birthday to Kylan. Cake was included. A little inside scoop. Normally inside the house, you don't have cake mix, desserts, things like that. But when someone's having a birthday, in my season, we had Kimmy and Jack, who both had birthdays. When someone's having a birthday while they're inside the house, cake mix and frosting magically shows up in the storage room for the rest of the house guests to bake a cake and celebrate a birthday in style. So we got that last night with Kylan. They had a lot of fun. And as part of that, they also had a Toga party, which is always fun to watch as well. Now, after the cake and the birthday celebration, much of the evening was spent in the living room playing different games. We saw most of the house guests playing Never Have I Ever. Later, they're playing Mafia, charades with Disney movies, a lot of different activities. Again, with most of the house in there playing along. So just laying back, relaxing, enjoying an evening away from some of the strategy talk. Now, I did notice a few things during the gameplay. For one, during the game, Kylan was sitting with Sarah Beth. He spent a lot of time giving Sarah Beth a foot massage at one point, a neck massage at another point. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm keeping an eye on this. I hate to say it a couple because they're not a couple yet, but I'm keeping an eye on the two of them because they certainly seem to be very friendly with each other. So I don't know. We'll see where that thing goes. Now, have-nots. It's been a tough week for have-nots, but they've done a pretty good job with it. But have-nots ended at midnight last night. And so everyone counted down. They were all excited as soon as it became midnight. I think they all pretty much ate pizza and celebrated. They did have at one point the have-nots, which again was that Team Queen. Can't always keep them in track. But the have-nots, Christian, Alyssa, Xavier, and Sarah Beth all got together in the storage room and just celebrated amongst themselves that, hey, we did it, guys. We were the first have-nots of the season. We did it. The shared misery of eating slop and sleeping together in a have-not room, I think this has really made Team King's bond a lot tighter than maybe you've got from the other teams. And I think that's going to carry over to at least for the next few weeks of the season. I think these people are going to be a little tighter just because they were have-nots the first week. So it's something always to keep in mind. Now, in comparison to the bonding that you got from the have-nots and Team Kings, let's talk about Team Jokers. Team Jokers, headed up by Frenchie, it appears to be broken. We had several conversations throughout the evening with Azah, Brittany, and Derek F., basically saying in a lot of different ways that they all think that Frenchie Moore is watching out for his own game, that he wasn't really consulting or working with the rest of the team. And so they just don't have the faith or the trust in Frenchie right now. Doesn't mean they may not still work together, because you have to kind of depend on each other for survival, but they certainly don't have a lot of of trust with Frenchie right now. That's not a good sign when your own team isn't really supporting you and is very cautious about you. It's going to be interesting to see what happens as we go forward. Another conversation. This is upstairs in the poker lounge, the lounge room. I'm not sure what we're calling that yet. I think poker lounge maybe. We've got Brent, Derek F., Frenchie, and Whitney's, all members of the Slaughterhouse Alliance, along with Derek X, who is not, but wanders in, and they don't make him leave. They say, come join us. So we've got them up there. Brent is talking about he's really worried about the ladies in the house. He says that we can't let them bond without realizing that Frenchie just formed the French kiss just a little bit earlier in the day. But everyone in the house or in this group, at least talking to each other, they seem to be in agreement that the next evictee needs to be a woman. And I think that's with the assumption that Travis is going home this week. They're saying the next evictee has to be a woman. Now, Whitney is in this group while they're talking about that, but Whitney isn't part of any of the women's alliances, the Sirens, the Jackpots, or this brand new French Kiss Alliance. She's not part of any of that. She's firmly working with the guys, so it's probably not too dangerous for Brent to be saying this in front of Whitney. They do talk a little bit about who they potentially would put up, and one of the names I heard mentioned was Claire, with Sarah Beth potentially going up as a pawn. I think maybe it's Frenchie who says that no one's ever going to vote out Sarah Beth. So they're looking maybe as using her as a pawn and potentially going after Claire. So keep that in mind. In other alliance news, Whitney and Frenchie apparently now have a final two. I don't know a lot of the details about it, but Whitney made a reference to it. So chalk up another final two alliance within the house. I mentioned that Travis hasn't really done a lot of campaigning right now. Doesn't mean that he isn't going to campaign. He said he was going to wait because of the birthday party and such. Wait till tomorrow probably to campaign. What he's trying to do, it sounds like from a campaign strategy, is one, he wants to get his own team, which is Tiffany, Claire, and Kylan, to support him. And he's going to try to get Frenchie's team to support him as well, to give him enough votes to keep him over Alyssa. He's going to talk to Frenchie and tell him that if he stays, he'll target Christian. So he'll work with Frenchie and go after Christian, who he believes is still Frenchie's primary target. And that if he stays, he'll continue to remain a big target. Whereas Alyssa, once she's off the block, no one's going to target her again. No one's going to see her as a big threat. So he's going to tell Frenchie, look, as long as I'm in the house, that's one more target that people will be looking at me instead of with you. The other thing he's going to mention is that, look, Alyssa was targeted originally by you because you thought she was in a showmance with Christian. And whether that's the case or not, she's going to be in a showmance. There's other people that are looking at her as a showmance partner. So why are you going to keep someone that's going to just potentially still be a showmance when you so much want to get the showmances out of the house? I think those are all good points. I think they're decent strategies. I just think it's a little too little, a little too late. Travis really doesn't have he isn't in any alliances really to be said. He doesn't really have a lot of tight bonds or support with other people. He just doesn't have the people or the alliances that are going to protect him when he needs it this week. So Thursday's still a day or so away, but I think Travis is probably out the door at this point in time. But hey, you got to fight the fight, and I think his campaign points are valid. I just don't know they're enough right now. We do have also Travis telling Tiffany that when everyone first entered the house, when they had that first group of 4 guys that came in to do the competition in the backyard, that Frenchie up in the balcony told Travis and the other 2 guys that, look, all of y'all, if I get HOH, y'all are safe. Y'all are not going home on my HOA train. Well, maybe that's not quite the case as it turns out. We have a couple more meetings. During the Team Aces meeting, Brent again says that a woman must go next. Now, when he said it before and Whitney was in there, that's all right because she's really not working with women. In this situation, Brent said it, and Claire and Hannah are both sitting in on that Team Aces meeting as part of Team Aces. It's a dangerous comment when the 2 of them are sitting in there, considering that both of them are part of the Sirens Girls Alliance. So Brent needs to be a little careful. He may be talking in front of the wrong people at this point in time. Brent later is talking to Xavier and Whitney and complaining that Kylan has been massaging all of the girls, how he really wants him gone. but he can't since he's part of the alliance. And I assume he's talking about the Slaughterhouse Alliance. I think Derek F at one point tells Brent, says, look, you're making this too much a guy-girl thing. And maybe he's right. Certainly Brent needs to be careful about saying things like this in front of some of the women. He's making some assumptions about who's really tightest with him and working with him, not realizing there's already some girls' alliances out there that may not appreciate Brent's viewpoints in terms of where he wants to go next. Later, we've got a conversation between Hannah is talking to Brittany and Azza. Hannah isn't a member of the Sirens Girls Alliance right now, but that could change. They were talking and seeming very friendly with each other. I think they called Hannah a queen at one point, and so I could see them bonding, getting a little bit tighter as we go forward. So a lot of alliances, and a lot of them kind of some gender-based discussion. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all pans out. Finally, kind of to finish off this whole evening, Frenchie is talking. This is while I think they're playing Never Have I Ever. Frenchie's in the kitchen. He's talking to himself, saying, Big Brother made it too easy, putting me in a house with so many people that are so easy to convince. You might as well just cut the check to me right now. Frenchie is tempting the Big Brother gods when he makes those kind of comments, and he better be careful, because he may not think it's so easy somewhere down the road. But Frenchie is feeling very confident. Later in the evening, he's in the HOH room. He's talking to the photos of his family and saying very similar things, that this is, these people are just, they're so worried about having fun and hanging out with each other. They're not playing the strategy game. This is too easy. Well, it gets tougher, my friend. I think the first week was kind of tough enough, but it's going to get only tougher, Frenchie. So let's see how everything pans out. Guys, y'all have a fantastic day. I will be back tomorrow to give you an update on tonight's going on, and I will see y'all then. Cheers, my friends. SKD 143. Later. Bye.